What's going on, guys? White Fox 1225 here with another video. With the Morrowind expansion for ESO coming up pretty quick, I figured I'd make a video today to explain some of the lore I think you guys should know before you play it. Morrowind came out a while ago, so it's understandable that a lot of people haven't played it and maybe don't know too much about Morrowind. So today I'm going to give you guys the basics of the region and some things you may or may not know already. I just have two quick disclaimers. First off, I'm not one of those guys who's a Tamriel historian. I do know a good amount about the lore, but I'm by no means an expert. And also, if I do mispronounce the Morrowind name, I'm really sorry. Some of the names are really weird, and I know I might butcher one, and I apologize in advance. But let's get into the video and start with the basics. So Morrowind is a province in Tamriel, and it is home to the Dark Elves, or the Dunmer. It is broken up into two parts. You have the mainland, which is called Morrowind, and then the island of Vvardenfell, which is where the game Morrowind takes place and where the new expansion for ESO will also take place. Because the new expansion takes place there, we're going to focus more on that in this video. You guys probably know already, Morrowind is very volcanic. The biggest volcano on the island is the famous Red Mountain. It is at the center of Vvardenfell and it takes up a lot of the island, and you'll definitely be running into it in the new expansion. At the time of ESO, it's only erupted once, but it would again after the events of ESO. And because it's so volcanic, a lot of the times the ground is covered in ash, but at the time of ESO, it's not as ashy as it usually is. Now that we have the basics out of the way, let's get a little more in depth. At the time of ESO, Morrowind is ruled by the Tribunal. The Tribunal consists of the gods Vivec, Amalexia, and Sotha Sil. But the Tribunal weren't always gods. At one point they were mortals, and how they became living gods is a pretty cool story that I'll try to cover quickly without, going on for 20 minutes or so. So the Dwemer and the Chimer, who are the ancestors of the Dark Elves, were at war with each other. The Dwemer focused on science, and the Chimer still worshipped Daedra, especially Azura. And the leaders created a truce, and that truce would last a while. But eventually an advisor of the Dwemer named Kagrenak found the Heart of Lorkhan in the Red Mountain. Once the Dwemer found it, they planned on using it to make the Numidium, which was a giant Dwemer construct, kind of similar to the one we saw in the cinematic trailer for the new expansion. The Numidium would have the power of gods. It would be something that would be almost worshipped by the Dwemer, but also a very powerful weapon. The Chimer found out about this, and obviously they weren't too happy, and this started another war. As the war went on, the Dwemer tried to use the Heart of Lorkhan to make the Numidium, and when they did, all of the Dwemer disappeared from Tamriel without a trace, and a lot of you guys probably know that already. It's one of the great mysteries of Tamriel lore. So the Tribunal seized the Heart of Lorkhan and held onto it for a good amount of time, and eventually they decided to use it to turn themselves into gods, which they did successfully. When they did that though, Azura, the Daedric prince they formerly worshipped, cursed them and turned their skin dark as ash into the Dark Elves we know today. That's pretty much all you have to know about the Tribunal. You'll be dealing with the god Vivec a lot in the new expansion, so hopefully knowing his backstory will help you relate to him a little more. Moving on, let's talk about the Morag Tong. Now the Morag Tong is a guild of assassins somewhat similar to the Dark Brotherhood, which a lot of people know, but it's very different at the same time. The Dark Brotherhood is actually a splinter group that broke off from the Morag Tong. But the Morag Tong worship the Daedric prince Mephala, who is the Daedric prince of murder and secret plots. They practice legal assassinations. They don't kill for fun like the Dark Brotherhood does or because they worship death in any way, but they do so to resolve large conflicts to avoid more bloodshed. They carry out really calculated assassinations to further their agenda and to make Morrowind a more prosperous place. Now they are based in Morrowind. Even though I do believe they operate sometimes in the other provinces, they mostly operate in Morrowind, and you'll be seeing them a lot in the new expansion. Moving on, let's talk about the Great Houses of Morrowind. The Great Houses are basically these very powerful political families and political parties that lobby for their own interests. If you played in the Ebonheart Pact storyline for ESO, you probably already ran into them. The three houses that are based in Vvardenfell are House Redoran, House Halalu, and House Telvanni. You'll definitely be running into them, and also keep in mind that slavery is an accepted part of Dunmer culture at this time. Usually Argonians are Dunmer slaves. I'm not too sure how this is going to work out with the Ebonheart Pact since they're supposed to have an alliance. But ZeniMax did confirm that you will run into Argonian slaves in the new expansion, and they also said a few quests will have you trying to free them, which should make for a pretty fun quest. Now that's pretty much all you need to know for the new expansion. I could talk about the lore all day, but I feel like if you guys know this lore, it'll give you a good foundation moving into the expansion. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. If you guys feel like I missed anything in the video that I should have mentioned, feel free to leave it down below in the comments so everyone can see it. We'll have lots more ESO content coming soon on the channel, and also a giveaway that we're doing for hitting 2,500 subs. I can't even say how much that means to me. It's awesome to reach that. So we will be doing a giveaway. I haven't decided if it will either be Steam or giving away a couple copies of ESO, but I'll post a video later in the week to let you guys know all the details. So subscribe if you want to see that content. If you guys liked the video, give it a like. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.